Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are after market close on Thursday, October 5th. We're going to take a look at CEI today. So CEI big banging day up over 40% and coming back into the fold a little bit here. Starting to kind of leave behind some of this downtrend that's been trapped under for a very long time. As you see, we have a lot of levels on the chart. They're just nowhere near where the price action is now. So given today's big boom, I wanted to come in, put some levels on the chart that make sense based on where we are currently, put in any trend lines here on the Webull chart, and then we'll flip over to the ThinkorSwim Study. So let's see what we have. We might have to zoom in intraday to get some that are interesting based on today's price action alone. But let's see what we can glean, because I tend to think that the levels from the daily chart are they're a little bit stronger and they sort of stand the test of time a bit better as price action sort of unfolds. So these levels look pretty solid to me. Definitely some decent levels we can get off of this price action. Let's fill these in, then we'll zoom in and we'll see how these levels were treated intraday today. Let me see. Okay, we'll go there. Kind of split the difference there. This is kind of the big area that is questionable to me. I'm going to put this on and I'm going to dot it because I want to double check it as we zoom in and see if it makes sense intraday as well. Same thing with this guy. Then let's see, we definitely should put some levels above here in case it continues to push. We'll go here. We also have a big gap in the price action there. So we might need to fill something in intraday. Let's at least get ourselves above 40. That's a really good level, actually. I mean, that's smack dab on 40. So it's a strong psychological level as well. This is another good one right at 41. So gets pretty tight in there. Let me see. It jumped about 10 cents today. So let's give ourselves about that run room again, in case it decides to continue to go bang. Okay, I'm happy with those levels. So let's zoom in to the intraday and see how they held up. Okay, so coming into the day, would have been way down here. We're not going to put a bunch of levels down here yet because unless the price starts to retreat significantly, dip back down below 30, I'm not going to worry about it for the time being. But my first sort of line of defense, if you will, below that level would potentially be around 27 or so. But we can come back and not clutter up the chart for now. Obviously, this 30-cent level is a good one. That's where it built its strong base and then reconfirmed support early on in the day today. These dotted levels do look like they held up pretty well. Let me see. Okay. I'm gonna christen these, if you will, and keep them on the chart. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, stretch through this 34 level, come back down, reconfirm support, like I said, on the 30, and then a nice sort of slow and steady bump up. So while it ran up 40+% today, a bunch of it intraday here after this big boom on the opening candle, which stretched up almost 19%. It was sort of a little bit gradual and slow and steady and did some nice motion in throughout the overall move to confirm support. Like here, that's an important move for it to put in. It's not just sort of leaving a big gap up and then leaving a spot for it to come back down and sort of all too easily fill to the downside in the near future. Coming just above this 37.44 level and trying to hold on here and then sort of fizzling a bit into close, but nothing sort of crazy. You also see a lot of the volume dying down there, but certainly all of these large volume candles being dominated in the area in which they exist by green buying pressure. If we look at if we take off these levels, I just want to see where the volume came in today. Okay, so right through the center of sort of like the meat of the action today got all of the volume predominantly, and that's also potentially really good to see because if we get some additional push and some meats on the bone up here, maybe toward 40, then be wanting to see that same sort of distribution up there as well. We'll see how that kind of plays out as things progress. But this all is looking pretty good. I'm happy with these levels for the time being. Like I said, if we dip below 30, then folks want to be happy to come back and take another look. Now let's flip over to the ThinkorSwim study. All right, so here we are. This is on the 10-minute. I just want to see how things are situated in the channel and the TTM squeeze indicator. You see nice indication here with the TTM squeeze triggering into open and then firing. And when it fired, it really banged and shot off, throwing the candles up out of the channel. And what we always look for when something leaves the channel on the ThinkorSwim study is for it to come back and retest the mid-range of the channel, that bright blue line. And it did that beautifully here. Came in, retested it nice and clean. As quickly as it lost support, it regained it. That's what you want to see. And a nice strong motion. Now, it wasn't the strongest move. What I would have wanted to see if I was looking for really continued intraday strength would have been it to ride this green wave cloud and just continue to need that as support and not need the mid-range of the channel as support. That said, the push off of the mid-range may provide for a longer sustained overall bullish run in the coming days. We'll have to see. But you do also see nicely here on the 10-minute, as it was hugging the mid-range of the channel, it started to trigger again on the TTM squeeze indicator and then fired as we got closer to the end of the day. And that fire took it from about 33 cents up to about 37. So just a few pennies, but the stock is so low priced that that's a pretty decent percentage change. So that's where we are headed into tomorrow on the 10 minutes. On the 1 hour, to get another sense of where things are. Now, this is sort of what I was talking about in the 10-minute. This is really sort of abnormal strength that we're seeing. And obviously here on the TTM squeeze indicator, it's showing that there's still growing bullish momentum. So we'll see if that continues to play out as we head into tomorrow. We see, again, a nice call out here in the TTM squeeze indicator, triggering here. And then when it fired, it took that price from about 22 cents all the way up to the highs of today. And so, again, talk about a percentage gain. That's a really nice percentage gain. So on the hour, this is looking incredibly strong. The question is going to be, is it going to continue to use this wave cloud and or the upper bound of the channel as support? Or at what point does it come down and test the mid-range of the channel for support, just like we saw on the 10-minute chart? Now, last but not least, on the daily, you see this huge 180 to 200 EMA wave cloud coming in. Maybe it will intersect with this at some point. This is still way up in the mid threes, so it would be a very long time at the moment before it sort of situated itself up there. But on the daily, because it's been stuck in such a downtrend for quite some time, you see growing bearish momentum here, dying off relatively smoothly, a little hiccup here in the middle, but relatively smoothly dying off, and then a little bit of additional push. But you see here we pushed out of the lower bound of the channel. And what did I say on the 10-minute chart? When we looked at that, I said whenever the price action leaves the channel in the study, we look for it to come back and retest the mid-range of the channel, the bright blue line. Now, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen. You can sort of see it start to take a motion toward it, right, like it did here. But if it's caught in strong bearish momentum, it could shrug off the wave cloud like it did here. But here you get out of the channel, retested the mid-range today, and finishing the day up above the mid-range of the channel. So to me, the most important thing heading into tomorrow and where price action ends up after tomorrow is, does it continue to build strength over the mid-range of this channel on the daily? If so, that would give me much more confidence, if I'm a CEI bull, in feeling like there might be some sort of sustained momentum and sustained bullish pressure coming in here. If it quickly loses that mid-range of the channel, then that's going to come into question for me. But gonna have to see how that plays out on the daily tomorrow. And obviously, if you're playing intraday with the stock and seeing what the price action does, then you can look at something like the 10-minute or 3-minute or whatever it is that you want to look at, and just sort of see how it's doing those same things there, leaving the channel, coming back and retesting the mid-range, pushing off, riding the wave cloud as support, right? All of these same things are happening on the different time frames. All right, folks, I hope that you had a good trading day and that you finish off the week strong tomorrow. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.